One of our big hopes in this final session of the identity course is for people to realize that responding to Jesus is based on evidence. Sometimes it's easy to believe that faith has no substance, that it's just about closing your eyes and just going for it, that there's no evidence to really believe. But that's nonsense, and we want to persuade people on the final session of identity that any response to Jesus should be based on evidence. Now the question is, what kind of evidence are we asked to respond to? And in this session of identity, we want to show people that the primary evidence that we're asked to respond to is the written documents that describe the life of Jesus, documents like John's Gospel. So in this session, we take people to John chapter 20, to Jesus' encounter with Thomas, and we show them that although Thomas has a confession that is to be copied, when he says, "My Lord and my God," when talking to Jesus, we are not to copy his attitude, because he is someone who demands to see the risen Jesus for himself. But Jesus says in the future, the really blessed people are those who will believe but who have not seen. And Jesus is not saying that the really blessed people are those who will believe without any evidence. It's all about what kind of evidence. He is saying that the really blessed people are those who will believe, not who have seen for themselves the risen Jesus, but who have believed the written down testimony of others. And we want to show people that it is perfectly reasonable to make a life-changing decision based on the eyewitness testimony, the testimony of other people. That's what happens every day around the world as juries make their decisions, life-changing decisions. They haven't seen the crime for themselves, but they listen to the testimony of others and they make their decisions on the basis of that. Now, of course, this is the last session of identity, so it may be appropriate to encourage some on your group, on your table, to make a personal response to Jesus. They don't have to know everything to become a Christian, but if they've reached the point where they know enough about the identity and mission of Jesus, then do encourage them to surrender their life to Jesus. Now, one of the ways you can do this is by pointing people to the prayer at the back of the booklet. You could encourage them to pray as a group, or maybe go home and pray it on their own, or maybe even meet up with them and pray it through. But do realize that what we're doing in identity is not simply presenting facts to people. We want to present facts, but these facts have an inbuilt response. Jesus is presenting the evidence before people like you and me, and he says, will you believe it? And will you respond by becoming one of my personal followers?